Do you believe that you are the master of your life and can create your destiny? Or do you believe that your destiny is already pre created? While the answer to this question is rooted in deeper spiritual philosophies, the purpose of this video is not to really go into that, but to talk about a skill that will help us navigate this question and answer it better in our lives. And not only that, but developing this skill will help us navigate through life with joy, happiness, and enthusiasm, irrespective of whatever situation we are in. And that skill is to be the master and the child at the same time. So, what does it mean to be the master and the child? Being the master means that in any given situation, you have stopped playing the blame game. You have decided to get onto the driver's seat to take responsibility for how you feel about the situation and are committed to doing everything that you can do to influence the situation in your favor. And when I say doing, it's not just taking actions, but it is also to support your action with the right kind of thought. Because one of the things that I have realized very, very powerfully is that your thoughts create your reality, and it's not the other way around. Usually, for most of us, what happens is what goes on in our minds, that is, our thoughts, is normally a function of our present reality. And because we are constantly thinking of what our reality is, we are not in a position to do much to influence it or change it for the better. But it is well known that the mind is more powerful than matter, which means your thoughts can influence your reality. So, whenever you go into any situation deciding to be the master, the most important thing is your thoughts. So, instead of thinking about your current reality, think about what is the ideal reality that you would like to have. And think about it as if it has already happened. And with that consciousness and with that kind of thoughts, go into the situation and do everything in your control that you possibly can do. This is to be the master of any situation. And having become the master, we also need to practice to be the child. So, what does it mean to be the child in any situation? If you have children at home, or if you've noticed toddlers in the age group of 1 to 3 years old, typically, they're the masters. They're very authoritative. They don't fear. They speak their hearts out, and yet they know that not everything is in their control. They know that they have to depend on their parents if they need anything, and they have the faith that if they need something, their parents will give it to them. So they're in a natural state of surrender and yet carefree. And so, my dear friends, we are all children of that abundant universe. And so, to be the child means after I have done whatever I could do in any given situation, I need to surrender. And what does it mean to surrender? Surrender means to let go of your attachment to the outcome of any situation. Because as much as your action is in your control, the outcome of the situation is never 100% in your control. This is ancient wisdom. The outcome of any situation depends on a combination of multiple factors. While yes, the actions that you take play an important role in influencing the situation. However, there are a lot of other factors involved that are beyond your control. And in spiritual terms, we call it karmic connections. It's not just your own karmic account, but the karmic accounts of all the other people involved in that situation that will ultimately decide the outcome. And you do not have any control over that. So what do? After having done everything that was in your control, you just surrender, which means you willingly and consciously let go of your attachment to the outcome of the situation. Now, whatever the outcome is, you again have the choice to become the master, which means to respond to that outcome in an appropriate manner. Rest assured that your action will have an outcome, because every action has an outcome, and that is for sure. But sometimes that outcome may be as per your expectation. Sometimes it may not be quite as per your expectations. And sometimes it could be beyond your expectations, much higher and bigger than what you ever expected. And those are the gifts that the generous, ever abundant, ever benevolent universe decides to give you from time to time. It's those gifts that we call as opportunities. So when you are open to any outcome that comes your way, you are open to inviting the universe into your life, to inviting the universe to present you with more and more opportunities. So staying open to the outcome is the key. Now, surrender is not quite the same as giving up. In fact, it is very different from giving up. To give up means to stop taking action or to lose hope, to lose enthusiasm, to lose joy and not try at all. When you give up, you have anyway lost. But in a state of surrender, you do not stop acting. You are constantly acting, taking action, constantly exploring new ways to solve a problem, constantly exploring creative ways to navigate any situation. But surrendering means letting go of your attachment to the outcome. If you look at nature, everything in nature demonstrates this behavior of master and child in a very natural way. A few months ago, we were on a safari to Gir National Park and we saw this amazing sight of a leopard waiting for its prey. So the leopard was sitting ready in a position to attack on its prey, and she was waiting for the deer, which was in its vicinity, to come into its range. And as this big, graceful deer walks into the range of the leopard is fully focused, fully concentrated. She does not distract herself. And we were actually watching that. And then she jumps to attack the deer. But you know what? The deer was very big. He had really big, sharp horns, and he was too strong for the female leopard. So he hit the leopard. He just ran away, and the leopard chased the deer for a few steps. But then she realized that she's not going to make it. And so she surrenders and she comes back and takes her position, waiting for another prey. And when I saw that incident, it was very interesting. And the guide of our safari told us that this is something that happens to these animals every day. Of all the attempts that they make to catch their prey, very few attempts are actually successful. Most of the attempts fail, and that is nature. So if you look around in nature, everything, including the phenomena of birth and death, where you have certain things that are in your control, but the final outcome of birth and death are not in your control. So nature functions on this principle. And therefore, my dear friends, if we learn this skill of being the master and the child at the same time, we will be able to navigate through any situation in life without feeling overwhelmed, without feeling pressurized, and yet maintaining our levels of joy and enthusiasm. And also, this skill is the foundation for any kind of meditation. I'm going to be speaking a lot more on meditation in the forthcoming videos, but for any kind of meditation to be effective, this is one skill that the more you practice, the better you will be able to meditate. So my invitation to you this week is pick any situation in your life and practice to be the master and the child at the same time. Do everything that you can do and let go of your attachment to the outcome. It is difficult. It's not easy, but with a little practice and a little conscious effort, it's going to be natural. And trust me, it is totally worth it. So try it out and share your experiences. Till then, all the best and let's meet soon again.